All right, back with you, San Diego sports leader. It is the Mighty 1090. Win number 10 for San Diego State's football program came over the weekend, Saturday night, on the road at Wyoming. It was the Mountain West Conference Championship game. That is also the 21st league title for Sdsu football, who will play next on December 17th. This will be an ABC game, 12:30 p.m. in the Las Vegas Bowl against Houston, which we'll get to in a second. We do say thank you very much to Rocky Long. He's the head coach of the Aztecs. He normally joins us on Tuesdays, but we asked if we could move this up today, and he said yes. So, Rocky, thank you very much. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Darren. It was a lot of fun. I mean, when you finally won the game, it's nice to be a champion, and that's the number one goal in our program, so we attained that this year.
Would you say that was something special now? You know, we've had a lot of fun with that quote over the years.
I would say it's something special, sure.
Rocky, the game itself, I enjoyed it as a fan. I'm sure that your alumni base was probably sweating it out. That fourth quarter was just, it was back and forth a little bit with them scoring and you guys holding on to ultimately win 27-24. Is it fun to coach that game? Was it fun to be there on the sideline coaching that game in the elements, knowing what was on the line?
It's kind of stressful because there's a lot of ups and downs as you go, but that's what you're in the game for. I mean, if you're not in games like that, there's no adrenaline rush, there's no excitement. I mean, even if you lose those kind of games, you get adrenaline rushes when things go right, and you get excited and all that kind of stuff. It makes it kind of worth it, but it's stressful on the sidelines. It's only fun when you win.
I would imagine, especially in those that fourth quarter, right? I mean, watching that back and forth, and you guys are just clinging in the fourth down decisions and kicking a field goal in the spot, and then stopping them and turning them over, and then your guy turns it over as well. In that fourth quarter, have you even processed it yet? What happened in there?
Well, yeah, obviously I've processed it since that time, but when you're in the game and things are going like that, good and bad, back and forth, all those sort of things, you just kind of do your business and do it the best way you can, and it's not you're not thinking about anything but trying to do the right thing at the right time, and then you let it work itself out and either enjoy it or be depressed.
Rocky Long joining us on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Aztecs Mountain West Conference champs haven't beaten Wyoming at Wyoming over the weekend. A big mystery for us here, Rocky, I think we even touched on it last week, was which Aztec team would show up. I mean, it was kind of a mystery what happened against Colorado State. And when you went up there the last time a few weeks back, it didn't go your way. We remember what happened at the end, the two-point conversion, et cetera. What was the sense you got from your team before the game started? Because I was a little confused. I didn't know which Aztec team was going to show up in the championship game.
Well, I'm glad you were confused because so was I. I mean, you can't really tell sometimes about the way they practice. Some teams are open books. When they practice well, they play well. When they don't practice well, they don't play well. Most teams I've been around, you cannot tell by the way they practice. I've had teams practice poorly and play great, and I've had teams practice great and play poorly. You can't really tell till the game actually starts. But once the game starts, it doesn't take you very long to figure out if your guys are into it or not. And about halfway through the first quarter, I could tell we were into it. That doesn't mean you're going to win, but at least you have a chance to win because you're into it, and you can tell by the effort. You can tell by how physical everybody is out there. You can tell about kind of the energy on the sidelines. And so right in it, near the first part of that first quarter, I knew we were into it, and that meant we had a chance.
The first quarter was interesting for me because I'm hearing you say that, and I will tell you the experience of sitting on the couch, right? I mean, I admit it's on the couch. I'm not there. Was much different than your experience because I was wondering if your guys were into it at all. You fall behind 3-0. Chapman has the turnover and bang in a couple of plays. They get the ball in the end zone, and it's 10-0, midway through the first quarter, and I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, these guys might get run out of the building here tonight. And I thought there was one sequence where it was a 3rd and 7, and Chapman, who you don't ask a lot of, completes a pass to Penny to convert on 3rd and 7, and then you guys go on and you score at the end of the first quarter, and at 10-7 it felt much different to me than it had just a couple of minutes prior.
Well, yeah, I can understand that, and I'm sure we were concerned on the sideline a little bit because we turned the ball over and went down 10-0, but what you see from what you didn't see the first time we played him was we were controlling the line of scrimmage. I mean, we weren't getting knocked backwards on offense, and we were controlling the running game really well on defense. So we were controlling the line of scrimmage, and if we control the line of scrimmage, you've always got a chance to either come back or you always got a chance to win. And obviously the first time we played them, they controlled the line of scrimmage, and you could tell that right away too. And I was I was happy that we had a chance to win at the end the first time around and tried to steal a game because they actually outplayed us. There's no doubt who the better team was Saturday night, and that was us.
You guys control the line of scrimmage. I'm sure people will hear you talking about that, and they will think you're talking about Penny. They'll think you're talking about Pumphrey, obviously. But I also thought defensively, Rocky, as you mentioned there, keeping their guy in check and also putting him in a lot of unenviable down and distance positions. It seemed like Josh Allen an awful lot of the time had to go, break the huddle there. Well, not the people huddle, but he would go to the line of scrimmage and it'd be 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. You put him, those down and distances there, your defense did a really, really good job of not giving him easy conversions on 3rd down.
And we're right back to what you said. We're controlling the line of scrimmage means they don't get 6 and 7 yards every time they run the ball. So you're not in, 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 1 all the time. And that's not allowing a team like Wyoming or us, that's not allowing them to run the ball effectively. And I thought we really kept him. I mean, he had a 66-yarder, but the rest of the night he only had 34 yards. He would average less than right at 1 yard a carry if it wasn't for the one that popped when we missed a couple tackles. But so we were controlling the line of scrimmage on defense, and that put him in those long yardage situations. And we were doing it right from the beginning, right from the start. So I knew we had a chance to win just because we had control of that.
Rocky Long joining us on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Aztecs finish their season 10-3. They'll have a bowl game December 17th coming up against Houston, which, again, I know I'll get to here in a second. Rocky, how about your seniors? You talked a lot all season long. Even before the season started, you talked about, we will go as our seniors go. So what does it say about your senior leadership here that you were able to pull it together, at least in that Mountain West Conference Championship game, and get your 10th win of the season?
Well, I think that's very difficult to get a team that got shellacked like we did against Colorado State and then tell them we're going to play a championship game in very, very cold weather back to where we just lost a heartbreaking loss. And obviously the leadership within the locker room is the most important. So they did a nice job of getting everybody emotionally ready to play. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to win because the other team can make some plays and you might lose. But if you're not emotionally ready to play, you don't have a chance to win, and we were emotionally ready to play, and that's mostly the leadership in the locker room.
Penny, again, I brought his name up a bunch this year. Rashad Penny, who had 16 carries for $117 and a couple of touchdowns, and he's been so great in the kick return. Yeah, Rocky, sometimes you sit and you watch and you think to yourself, wow, who should you feed? I know this is probably a good problem to have, but, who should you be feeding the ball to more? Pumphrey, Penny, what are those conversations like on the sideline when you got two guys going pretty well? It's difficult to take out who could be the all-time leading rusher in NCAA history in DJ Pumphrey, but, man, Penny sometimes just looks great.
Well, I think that they complement each other, obviously, and I think that Coach Horton and our offensive staff does a nice job of alternating them, getting them in there in the right situations. It allows them both to stay fresh and allows them both to get through the season without getting too beat up. I'm glad I'm not the one making that decision, but you can't keep Pumphrey out of the game. Not very much because he's the most explosive, most exciting player on our team. But then there are situations where Rashad being in there is probably the best deal. As you notice when we had 4th and 1 down by the goal line early in the game, Rashad was in there because he's a bigger guy, a more powerful guy. And not only did he get the first down, he scored from 6 yards out because he ran through 2 safeties. Now, DJ would have had to make a miss, and in a short yardage situation when everybody's bunched in there, there's not much room to make a guy miss, so you have to have more of a power back in there. So I thought the coaches do a nice job of alternating them at the right time.
Rocky, Pumphrey's going to play his final game in the Vegas Bowl here, but looking forward to next year, I don't know if this is on your mind or not, but would you expect, you think that we're going to have a similar version of this offense coming back in 2017? This is the way you would prefer to play, limited, 13, 15 passes from your quarterback, but mostly just trying to pound the football and see how many carries you can get out of your backfield?
That's what I envision, but I think we still, the biggest weakness in our team is that we don't throw the ball effectively enough or enough of the time. I I think we've got to get better at throwing and catching it, and that means I think we've got experience coming back at quarterback, so we ought to be better throwing it. We got to get better. Our receivers do a great job of blocking, but we've got to get better at the receiver position where we beat people one-on-one in coverage, so they can't stack the box as often as they're doing against us right now. So we have to make a dramatic improvement in the passing game, but I can envision us running the ball just like we did this year.
Rocky, you guys accepted an invite to the Vegas Bowl. For you now, this is 7 straight seasons for San Diego State in a postseason game. Tell us a little bit about accepting this bid here and what you think it means for you, for the program, for your fan base now to be playing in the Vegas Bowl.
Well, I think it means a lot of things. Number one, they've got the first choice out of our league, and they picked us because we're the conference champs. I think that's nice. I think that shows what they see in our program. I think number two, playing a team with Houston's national recognition and the kind of talent that they have Power 5 talent on their football team. They probably got double digits in NFL draft choices. So they're a very, very talented team that has a national recognition. So that allows us to play a very good team and maybe show that we belong and compete with that kind of program, at least the way people view that kind of program. I think all that is really, really good. It's good experience for our players, but it also gives our fans a chance to come out and watch us play. And there's maybe 3 or 4 guys on our team right now that are seniors that are as good as anybody that's ever played here at San Diego State, and it would be nice that people get to watch them one more time live.
And I also would wonder, it's his hometown, and you've done a good job all season long of remembering this is about the team goals and the team aspirations, but knowing now that Pumphrey's about 110 away from the all-time title, and he's going to his hometown, that sounds like a little bit like a storybook ending perhaps for him.
It certainly does, doesn't it? So hopefully we can get that done. I mean, I think there will be more of a thought process to make sure that he gets that done than there would be in the regular season. Obviously, it's more than it would have been in a championship game when the ultimate goal is always to win. I don't want anybody to take this wrong because I get criticized for this at times. We will do everything we can to win this game. But in the back of our minds, we're also going to do everything we can to make sure that DJ has a chance to break that record.
Las Vegas Bowl against Houston. That's a good team. They beat. We watched that opening weekend. San Diego State fans were paying attention because we thought, one of the group of 5 teams might be Houston, might be you guys. And they killed Oklahoma to open up the season. They just killed Louisville a couple of weeks back. Those are 2 top 5 teams. So this will be as good as you played all season long, even though they don't currently have a head coach.
They are the most talented football team that we've played in a long time. They're as talented, much more, well, I shouldn't say much more, but they're more talented than Cal was this year, and they were probably the most physically talented team we played. As you said, they've beat 2 top 5 teams in the country. Now, they're a little bit of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, kind of like we are. I mean, when we're into it and we're playing well, we're a really good football team. When they're into it and they're playing well, they're a great football team. But they've done things just like we have. I mean, they got beat by SMU. They got beat by Memphis. SMU really beat them bad, and SMU's a very average football team. So it's all about which team show up for them, which team shows up for us. If both of our good sides show up, it's going to be a great football game.
And by the way, people that are listening to this, you can go goaztecs.com or call 619-283-SDSU. Those are the ways to go and find tickets for the Vegas Bowl. You can go in person, SDSU Qualcomm Stadium ticket office. It's window E. You can buy your tickets through the Aztec program, which is the way to go because then you'll sit with the other Aztec fans and they get credit for it. As you know, there's this whole ticket allotment thing going on. Hey, Rocky, congratulations. We'll talk to you before the game. We appreciate the time and congratulations again.
Thanks a lot for having me on, Darren.